You feed him every morning, take him out for his walk, and make sure he's warm at night. Same blanket, same spot, every single day. You've given him love in the way you know best. But what if I told you some of the things you do out of pure love might actually be the very things that make him uneasy, even stressed? It's not about how much food is in his bowl or how long the walk is. It's something smaller, quieter, and it happens right under your nose. In fact, only 2% of owners ever notice these signs before they chip away at their dog's trust. These aren't fancy training tricks or complicated routines. They're small, almost invisible changes that speak directly to his heart. Picture this: the way he leans into you when he's at peace, the way his eyes soften, the way his breathing slows. That's the connection we all want. And yet, without even knowing, most of us are doing little things that push that connection away. In this video, we're going to uncover 10 everyday things dogs hate about humans. Things most owners don't even realize they're doing, and how to stop them before they damage the bond you've built over years. Let's start with the one that can make even the toughest, bravest dog tremble: loud noises. Think about the last time a firework cracked in the distance, or you switched on the vacuum. You might have jumped a little, but he bolted under the bed, maybe shaking so hard you could feel it through the floor. You told him it was okay, but he didn't believe you, because to him it wasn't just noise. It was danger. Here's the thing: your dog's ears are built differently from yours. He hears the world in a higher resolution, picking up sounds you can't even register. A vacuum or hairdryer to us is just a hum to him. It's like standing next to a jet engine. And fireworks. That's like sudden gunfire in a quiet room. Science backs this up. A study in Frontiers in Veterinary Science found that noise sensitivity is one of the most common behavioral issues in dogs, especially in those with joint or muscle pain. They react with trembling, hiding, even drooling, and if it happens often enough, that reaction can turn into a learned fear. Now here's the part most owners miss. It's not always the big noises that wear him down. It can be the small, constant ones: the hairdryer after your shower, the blender in the kitchen, the garage door slamming shut. Over time, each one adds a drop to his stress bucket until it overflows. So what do? First, give him a safe spot, somewhere quiet, familiar, maybe with a piece of your clothing. Second, when you know a noise is coming, pair it with something he loves: a treat, a gentle touch, your calm voice. You're not just comforting him, you're teaching his brain a new association. And here's the twist: if sound can hit him that hard, wait until you hear what strong smells do to him. If sound can rattle him, that much smell can overwhelm him even faster. You come home with a brand new floor cleaner. You love that fresh scent, smells like a hotel lobby. You spray it around, mop the floor, and feel good about having a clean house. But he walks in, takes one sniff, and leaves the room. Not because he's moody, because that fresh smell to you is like a thick cloud of perfume to him, so strong it almost burns. Here's the thing: a dog's nose isn't just better than yours. It's in a different league. Scientists estimate it can be 10,000 to 100,000 times more sensitive. That means the citrus cleaner you barely notice might be screaming in his head. The same goes for scented candles, laundry detergent, even that new aftershave you're proud of. And it's not just unpleasant, it can actually change how he behaves. Some dogs will avoid entire rooms. Others get restless, pacing or scratching at the door. It's their way of saying, "I can't relax here." The fix: keep strong odors out of his main spaces. Use odor-free or pet-safe cleaning products. Ventilate the room before he comes back in. And if you want a smell he actually likes, stick with the natural ones, your scent, his bed, the familiar smell of home. Because here's the kicker. If you're overloading his nose, you might also be overloading his mind in other ways. Especially when you talk more than he can process. If his nose can be overloaded, his brain can be too, especially when you talk more than he can follow. Picture this. You're in the kitchen, he's sitting by the door, and you start explaining in full sentences why you can't take him out yet. You're sure he understands because he's tilting his head. Right. Here's the truth. He's not following your story. He's trying to pick out anything familiar from the noise. Dogs don't process language the way we do. Sure, they can learn words, some even over 100, but they're masters of body language and tone. Long speeches with no clear signals. That's like someone giving you directions in a language you barely know without pointing the way. It's exhausting. Science backs this up. Training studies show that dogs respond faster and more accurately when cues are 1 to 2 words paired with a consistent hand signal. The shorter and more distinct the cue, the less background noise their brain has to filter. Here's where it gets tricky. Talking too much isn't just ineffective, it can actually frustrate him. If he can't decode what you want, he might tune you out completely. The fix: keep it short, keep it clear, and let your body do the talking. A step forward, an open palm, a nod, he'll understand that faster than a paragraph. And here's something most owners don't realize. Even if your words are perfect, your energy can undo everything, especially if it's negative. Even if your words are spot on, your energy can undo everything, especially if it's negative. Picture this. You come home and there it is, the shredded pillow on the floor. He's lying on his bed looking up at you. You feel that flash of anger, so you raise your voice, maybe even point at the mess. But here's the problem. It happened hours ago. In his mind, your anger isn't connected to the pillow. It's connected to you. Dogs live in the moment. Behavior experts say they can only link an action to a consequence within a matter of seconds. That means if you scold him even a minute late, he's not learning. Don't chew the pillow. He's learning. Sometimes when my human walks in, they explode. And that creates stress, even fear. A study on canine learning and emotional response found that delayed punishment not only fails to correct behavior, it increases anxiety-related behaviors over time. You think you're teaching, but really you're just eroding trust. Here's what works. Instead, catch it as it happens. Redirect him, swap the pillow for a toy, guide him to the right behavior, then reward the good choice. Your calm, in-the-moment correction will teach far more than any angry outburst. Because here's the thing. Even when your timing is perfect, if your daily rhythm isn't, he can still feel like his world is out of balance. And that's where the real stress creeps in. Even when your timing is perfect, if your daily rhythm isn't, he can still feel like his world is out of balance. Think about your own life. If breakfast was at 6 a.m. some days, noon on others, and sometimes skipped altogether, you'd start to feel on edge. For dogs, that unease is magnified. They don't have a calendar or a clock. They read the world by patterns. When those patterns break without warning, so does their sense of safety. And it's not just feeding time. It's the walk that happens before coffee one day and after dinner the next. It's sit meaning one thing on Monday and a totally different thing on Friday. Every inconsistency is like a crack in the map they use to navigate their life with you. Behavior research has shown that predictable routines lower cortisol, the stress hormone in dogs. A consistent environment helps them relax, adapt faster, and even learn commands more effectively. On the flip side, constant changes keep them in a mild state of alert, always waiting for the next unpredictable shift. The fix is simple. Pick a rhythm and stick to it. Feed around the same time. Walk around the same time. Use the same words for the same actions. That stability isn't boring to him. It's comforting. It tells him, this is your home. You know what happens here. You're safe. And yet, even in a safe, predictable home, one single look can change how he feels about you. And I mean, literally just looking at him the wrong way. Even in a safe, predictable home, one single look can change how he feels about you. And I mean, literally just looking at him the wrong way. You've seen it before. You lock eyes with him maybe just for fun, waiting to see who looks away first. Sometimes he holds the gaze, but more often he glances aside, licks his lips, or shifts his weight. That's not him being shy. That's him saying, hey, this is making me uncomfortable. In dog language, prolonged direct eye contact can mean challenge, even threat. Out in the wild, two dogs holding a hard stare are either sizing each other up or seconds away from a fight. In his mind, a stare is a signal to prepare for something, not to relax. Now, here's the twist: eye contact isn't always bad. The Duke University study found that soft, mutual gazing, just a few seconds at a time, can spike oxytocin in both dogs and humans, the same hormone that bonds mothers to babies. But the key word is soft. When it's too long, too intense, it flips from comfort to confrontation. So the fix is simple. Keep your gaze gentle. Blink. Look away. Let him approach you before you meet his eyes. You'll still get the connection without the pressure. And here's where it gets tricky, because if the way you look at him can make or break trust, imagine what happens when you wrap your arms around him without asking. If the way you look at him can make or break trust, imagine what happens when you wrap your arms around him without asking. We humans hug to show love. To us, it's comfort, safety, connection. But to most dogs, a hug means something else entirely: restraint. You're wrapping yourself around his body, limiting his movement, holding him in place. In dog language, that can feel like you're taking control and not letting go. You've probably seen the signs without realizing it. Ears pull back, body stiffens, maybe a yawn or a slow lick of the lips. Those aren't signs of relaxation. They're signals that he's tolerating the moment, not enjoying it. Some dogs learn to accept hugs, especially if they've been gently introduced to them as puppies, but many never truly like it. They just put up with it because they love you. And kissing, same deal. Dogs don't kiss each other. A face moving close, especially toward theirs, can feel threatening. Yes, some will nuzzle you back, but others will turn away or freeze, waiting for it to be over. The fix. Watch his signals. If he leans in, relaxes, and stays close, go ahead. If he stiffens, pulls back, or avoids your face, show affection in a way he prefers: a scratch behind the ear, a hand resting on his chest, or just sitting quietly together. Because here's the thing. Even the most loving touch can backfire if you ignore his comfort zone. And when you step outside, there's one habit that can frustrate him more than any hug ever could. Even the most loving touch can backfire if you ignore his comfort zone. And when you step outside, there's one habit that can frustrate him more than any hug ever could: rushing his walk. You've seen it. The moment you clip on the leash, his nose drops to the ground like it's glued there. He's not being stubborn. He's reading the news. Every scent tells him who's been there, what happened when it happened. It's his social media, his newspaper, his memory book, all rolled into one. But then the leash tightens. You pull forward because you've got things to do, places to be. Maybe you even give a quick jerk to get him moving. To you, it's just keeping pace. To him, it's like someone yanking you away mid-sentence, over and over again. Science shows that sniffing is more than curiosity. It's mental enrichment. Dogs allowed to sniff freely during walks have lower heart rates, explore more, and show fewer signs of stress. When you rush him, you're not just cutting his walk short, you're cutting his chance to relax and connect with his world. The fix: give him sniff breaks. Use a loose leash or an anti-pull harness so you're not creating constant tension. Let him choose the pace for part of the walk, then guide him when you need to move on. You'll be surprised how much calmer he is afterward. Because here's the twist: if pulling him away from a scent can ruin his walk, imagine how confused he feels when you dress him up in something that makes no sense to him at all. If pulling him away from a scent can ruin his walk, imagine how confused he feels when you dress him up in something that makes no sense to him at all. You've seen the photos online: dogs in sweaters, raincoats, even Halloween costumes. We do it because it's cute, it's fun, it makes us smile. But here's the thing: for most dogs, clothing isn't fashion, it's restriction. That sweater that makes him look cozy might actually make it harder for him to move naturally, to run, to stretch, even to communicate through his body language. Sure, there are exceptions. If it's freezing outside or your vet recommends a coat for medical reasons, that's different. Dogs with short coats, puppies or seniors might need a little extra warmth. But putting clothes on a healthy dog in mild weather? That's for us, not for them. Watch his body language when he's dressed. Does he freeze, walk stiffly, or keep trying to shake it off? Those are signs he's uncomfortable. Some dogs learn to tolerate clothes, but many never understand why it's happening. They just feel trapped. The fix: keep clothing functional. If it's cold, wet, or medically necessary, use lightweight, comfortable gear that doesn't restrict his movement. Skip the decorative outfits unless you're sure he's comfortable, and even then, keep it short. Because here's the truth: while a silly sweater might just make him uncomfortable, there's one thing you can do that will truly break his heart, and it has nothing to do with what he wears. While a silly sweater might just make him uncomfortable, there's one thing you can do that will truly break his heart, and it has nothing to do with what he wears. It's when you're not there at all. I'm not talking about the quick trip to the store. I'm talking about being away so long, so often, that he doesn't know when or if you're coming back. For a dog, your absence isn't just quiet time. It's a hole in his world. You are his constant, his reference point. When you vanish, the entire map of his day falls apart. Some dogs handle alone time better than others, but for many, especially those who've been abandoned before, each hour alone feels heavier. The signs creep in slowly: the way he stops greeting you at the door, the toys left untouched, the meals eaten half-heartedly. In severe cases, it's pacing, destructive chewing, or simply lying in the same spot, waiting. Behavior studies on separation anxiety show it's one of the most distressing experiences for a dog, triggering not just stress behaviors, but physiological changes: elevated heart rate, higher cortisol, disrupted sleep. It's not spoiling him to be present. It's meeting a core need. The fix: if you must be away, make sure he knows when you'll return, and keep that promise. Leave something with your scent. Arrange for a neighbor, friend, or sitter to stop by. Most of all, never make goodbye a permanent word. Because here's the hardest truth: your dog will never understand why you left for good. And when that happens, trust isn't just broken, it's gone. You feed him every morning. You walk him. You keep him warm at night. That hasn't changed since the day you brought him home. But now you know love isn't just what you give. It's also what you avoid taking away. The loud noises, the strong smells, the mixed signals, the unpredictable routines, none of these come from a place of cruelty. They come from love, from habit, from not knowing any better. But the truth is, your dog doesn't judge you for the mistakes. He just hopes you'll notice. And when you do, that's when the bond deepens in a way you can feel. We've walked through 10 everyday things dogs hate about humans. And now it's your turn. Pick one change, just one. Maybe you let him sniff a little longer on your next walk. Maybe you swap the scented cleaner for something gentle. Maybe you just soften your gaze when you meet his eyes. Because every small change says, I see you. I understand you. You matter to me. And for a dog, that's everything. If any of this made you think about your own dog, the one lying by your feet right now, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Share what you've noticed, what you've changed, and what difference it's made. And if you want more ways to understand him to protect that trust, make sure you subscribe. Because the more we learn to speak their language, the less we risk losing their trust, and the more we get to enjoy the quiet, unshakable loyalty only a dog can give.